an airhead so much. I mean, although he did seem like one, the actor, the way he portrayed him. But I mean, for me, it's like when I run into this, it's like I expect a certain level of knowledge from gay people, whatever age they are, because it's just pop culture. And so I think most gay guys generally are pretty up on culture, whether it's our culture or another one. So when I was young, when I was like 20-year-old kid, I actually had lots of friends who were older than me, and so I knew all this shit. So maybe I was an anomaly, but and so that's why I always knew the generation before me and after me, whatever. But you guys, I mean, you guys are the same way to some degree, and I don't expect you to know everything.
Like that. I mean, it's like that for people when it comes to music. I mean, I may not know all these movies from back in the day, but I mean, I've talked to people who are like, who's Missy Elliott, or
exactly.
I was like, are you kidding me? You don't know who Missy Elliott? Yeah, because I remember watching this video on, I think I might have talked about this several shows ago, but there was this not BuzzFeed, but there was some type of video where they had like these teenagers to like watch 90s music videos. And
I saw that.
I saw it too. I loved it.
And some girl was like, is that Missy Elliott? And then she was like, is that a man or a woman? Like, I really don't know. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yes. And see, that's how I feel a lot of the time, because it's not about your age. I'm not saying I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about, another person, existential you, your age. Your age isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking so much about the fact that it's knowledge. And so people just don't seem to be interested in knowing about where people came from. Like, for example, people who love Britney Spears or Taylor Swift or whomever may be current now. I don't know whoever there is. Who came before them, and who came before them, and who were the actors and the actresses before those actresses in today.
Yeah, who paved the way.
Exactly. And I think you got to pay homage to those people. And so I think most people should be up to date on those things. I mean, if you're going to say, who's Missy Elliott? Wow.
That's how I feel. That's exactly how
it's just like, to me, it's like saying, who is Madonna? Who is Janet Jackson? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like, what? It's just nuts to me. So anyway, I just thought it was a funny little video. But if you guys haven't seen it who are listening on the show, you can go to I think it's on the Gay XYZ page as well as the Off Limits Show page. You can go to the other page and you can go on there and look at the video about generation gaps in the gay community. It's pretty fucking funny. So you actually wanted to talk about Caitlyn Jenner on Ellen, Jason?
Yes. So as you guys know, I'm okay with Caitlyn Jenner. She's okay. However, she was on the Ellen show sometime last week, and Ellen was pretty much asking her some questions about, what does she think about same-sex marriage, yada yada yada. And Caitlyn's answer was actually pretty interesting. She says, let me find the quote right quick.
She was like really lukewarm about it.
Yeah. She was like, I'm a traditionalist. I'm older than most people in the audience. I kind of like tradition, and it's always been between a man and a woman. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking I don't quite get it. Mm-hmm. Then she goes on to say, as time goes on, I think a lot of people on this issue have really changed their thinking, and that type of thing. And she was like, if the word marriage is really, really that important to you, I can go with it. So here's my take on it. I kind of feel like she still somewhat does not support same-sex marriage. And I know it's very cliche because, she's a transgender, woman, but it's also like, I'm like, how can you be a transgender woman who's also Republican who is against same-sex marriage? It's a little twisty to me, you know what I mean? And it was very interesting to me because I was like, she tried to cover it up, during the interview. She didn't flat out say it, but if you put two and two together, I was like, I think she still does not 100% support.
I agree with you. Marriage. When I saw it, I was uncomfortable. When I saw it when it was happening on the Ellen show, and I was like, ooh. And I was like, and Ellen called her out on it instantly and said, well, of course they want the word marriage because they want to be equal. If you want to be equal, you have to have the same word. And she kind of was like, well, I understand that, whatever. But right. I mean, the truth is, what's so confusing to me, and I agree with you, Jason, is that she's a transgender woman and she wants these rights, which are very, very much parallel to what gay rights are wanting or whatever, and yet can't see the hypocrisy and not not supporting it. However, she has since come out since after that happened and said that she does fully support gay rights and that she's evolved on this issue and she's changed and she's been taught
that.
now.
Well,
I mean, but even if it's true, I have to say, I mean, she is a neophyte. She's brand new. And she's coming from someone who once was a highly conservative individual. So she has to be basically her brainwashed brain has to be reprogrammed away from the Republican side, and she'll begin to understand and become probably. I bet you $1 million in 10 years she'll be a Democrat or whatever, or a liberal.
No, I just feel like she's doing just a traditional thing because people are kind of heated about it. I feel like she's just trying to retract her statement.
She's
and
trying
like,
to keep
what I really meant was
she's trying to keep one foot in that world and another foot in this world because she's afraid to put that foot into this one all the way because she doesn't want to be considered a freak and all that shit she was talking about the show. I think that's what it is, honestly. She's afraid to let go of all these previous notions she had because she's had them for her entire life. And so what I'm trying to say is I understand why she is that way. I don't agree with it, but I think that she'll probably come around. So I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair.
I don't think she's gonna come around.
My mom was really, really conservative, and growing up was never a gay ally. Was never
Darth Vader. Is that you?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
She was very, very conservative, and then.
I think we lost him. He's gonna come back. He'll come back.
I'm here. So she was.
There he is.
Can you hear me? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, she was super conservative, and it wasn't until I came out that she started kind of slowly starting to accept it. So I think over time you just become more comfortable with it, and you just...
Well, it's just like anything. When you don't understand, you're ignorant of something, which means that you don't understand it, you don't know anything about it, really. And that's the same thing with her and your mother or Caitlyn Jenner. Once they're immersed and they understand it, they understand people who are gay, they understand people who are transgender, they understand it because they're with these people. Then they have an understanding, they understand that what they thought before was wrong. So it's just a matter of learning. I agree with you completely. I think she'll evolve too, although Jason thinks is not so sure.
No, I'm not too sure about that.
Well, people can change.
Speaking of,
but you have to remember, she is now a transgender woman, and she still has these thoughts.
It's hypocritical. It is.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
It is hypocritical. I agree with you. I feel the same way you do, Jason. On one foot, I'm just trying to be optimistic, and I think also give her the benefit of the doubt because I think she has, even from that show I Am Kate, from the beginning of the show to the end of the show, you see an evolution in thought about several different topics that she has changed on. So I think she has an open enough mind to actually go there. I think the problem I feel, though, and I think what you're feeling maybe is I think she thinks that she's transgender, so therefore she's a woman, quote unquote. Therefore, that's not the same as being gay because she's not gay because she's a woman now, and it doesn't really apply to her, these gay right things. And so she's not part of the gay community. She's part of the transgender. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
So I think that's what she's thinking. I don't agree with it either, Jason, but we'll see what happens. Speaking of change, Mariah Carey now is a freaking video game character.
Did you guys see this?
Wait, what happened?
You didn't see this? Oh my god, you have got to look it up.
Oh my gosh. So she's the new face of this video game that it's like a medieval times video game. So she's not like a character in the video game. She's just kind of like the face of it. And in the commercial, they're playing her song Hero. And she kind of, jumps off the horse or whatever it is and flips her hair around. And
it's called like, Game of War.
Game of War, yeah. And she's
I just found it. Yeah.
She's like, you could be the hero. And then kind of like jogs off. But
it's so hokey.
Her career is over.
Don't you think that's beneath her? Okay, I don't think her career will ever be over, but I think it's in the dumps.
It's over.
So this is the question. Is this a low point in her career, or is this just a fun opportunity?
I think it's a misstep. I think she shouldn't have done this. I think she should have done something else. This is ridiculous and stupid.
So I thought this was like Funny or Die at first.
It should have been.
I mean, half the people half of these gamers don't even know who the hell she is. Remember, you have to remember a lot of these kids are
14 years
between
old.
10 and 14 years old. They could be like, who the hell is this bitch?
Yeah.
Like, they could be like, who's Mariah Carey? Trust me, they're not going to know who she is.
No.
And if they do, it's only because they hear their parents maybe reference her.
I also don't think Hero is an appropriate song for a video game. It doesn't make any sense. Hero, it's like a ballad, right?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But Hero, I mean, just
Hero
it's
in a Game of War video game?
Yes, exactly. It doesn't make sense in terms of the way it sounds. I mean, maybe the word hero, yeah, but not the actual song. It's really bizarre. I don't know. Mariah Carey, I think, her voice has, as we have all seen, degraded over time because she hasn't taken care of it, I think. And, don't you think it's degraded? And I think she's also I don't think she gives a shit so much anymore. Do you think she cares too much? Which one do you think it is?
I think it's effortless for her. I don't think she puts a lot of thought into anything. She doesn't rehearse. She doesn't really put a lot of thought into her stage set. She's Mariah Carey, darling.
That's what I mean by she doesn't give a shit anymore. She's like, I'm Mariah Carey. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I don't care.
She's just going to end up tarnishing her reputation.
If it's good or not. And that's right. You've got to work for it. I don't care who you are. You've got to work.
This entire commercial is stupid. I'm watching it right now. They're in medieval times and they have a fucking cell phone. I'm like, really? Really? Come on now.
I don't know anything about the game. Maybe the game is them going back in time and they have cell
before
phones.
her, it was Kate Upton who was the spokesperson. I kind of thought that was silly too, but Mariah Carey.
It's just hokey and bizarre. It's bad placement for her. Whoever her PR people are stupid. Or publicist, I mean. Well, speaking of go ahead.
We'll go ahead and post the video on the Facebook page after the show.
Yeah, so people can see how
her taking off running in this commercial
the best. I needed like a gift.
It is hilarious. I was just like, it looks like she takes off running. Okay, have you ever seen that? I think it's a State Farm or one of those commercials where the robot's driving the car and he rear ends the other car and he gets out and says, "Uh-oh," and it takes off running.
That's what she looks like.
She runs just like that fucking robot in that commercial. I swear to God. Look it up if you don't believe me.
Poor Mariah.
Not a good look, Mariah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, before we move on to the next topic, did you see the article about Janet Jackson's show and the fact how she's like doing medleys of all her songs. She's not even doing full songs.
She's doing like 32 some odd tracks. So that, I mean, a lot of people do that though. Like a lot of people that have a big set, they only do like half of the song.
Well, 32 tracks times 4 minutes is only an hour and or 2 hours or something. That's okay. So do all the fucking songs, bitch. You're paying for it. I mean, that's not that.
Madonna does that too though.
She does not.
She does more of like.
She does all of her songs, but when she does like a medley, she does like 3 songs that you don't give a shit about anyway, usually. Like, it's like songs that are like deep cut songs. And she doesn't do like Vogue usually as a...
Where they're like sample. Like, where it's like a sample.
But they're usually like interludes. It's not like the whole song, the whole performance. I just don't like that. But whatever. I think it's lazy. But you get what you pay for when you go to Madonna and you go...
I don't know. I was really rooting for her and... It just seems like this comeback is just falling flat. I'm sorry.
It has.
I'm a Janet Jackson supporter, but it just seems like her comeback had very little promotion. I mean, even her songs get very little radio play.
It's badly handled.
I'm just like, I don't know who her,
manager,
who's in charge of her promoting, label. And they did a horrible job.
Well, I don't think she's on a record label. I think she's producing all this herself. I think it's her own label, actually. And that's what we discussed before about her, is that I think that's one reason why she's doing so poorly, because she doesn't have the backing of a major label. She probably could have, but I think she chose to do it on her own.
Yeah, I mean, more money. Exactly.
So I think that's the problem, but whatever. Now, you actually had mentioned something about Tamar Braxton.
Yeah, this is actually...
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, the same bitch who blocked me? Okay.
The same one.
So October 2nd, Janet's album's coming out. And now Tamar Braxton's album's coming out on October 2nd because her record label or her management team decided to push the album back for the 5th time.
Bitch.
And they have been like heavily promoting this record to come out September 11th. That's kind of been like the big thing, September 11th. And they promoted it on all the reality shows, the talk show, every interview, like it was a big deal, right? And I was excited because I've been waiting since January, and then after January it was May, and then after May it was July, and then after July it was September, and now it's October. So I was upset because what happened was it was September 10th, at 11 p.m. Central Time, which is when the album goes on sale.
Yes.
And so I go on my iTunes to go ahead and just get her downloaded.